I'm starting again because the lighting was weird, okay? Welcome back to my channel. Since you guys liked my what I read in September video, I decided to do another one for October. Some of them I just picked because they had purple in the cover and they looked kind of spooky. But I just thought I would give you this video. The first book I read was Breathe by Sarah Croissant. I don't know how to say her name. Croissant. This book was okay. Like, I thought I was going to enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it much as I thought. Why do I always say the Bible when I mean the blurb? The blurb kind of hyped it up a little bit too much, and I'll read it to you right now. When oxygen levels plunge in a treeless world, a state lottery decides who will live inside the pod. Everyone else will slowly suffocate. Years later, society has divided into premiums and auxiliaries. Only premiums can afford enough oxygen to live a normal life. Dissenters to the regime are rejected from the pod. Alina belongs to a rebel group. On the verge of capture, she is rescued by a premium boy. They escape the pod, but with only 2 days worth of air. Outside, they unearth conspiracy on a breathtaking scale. I feel like the blurb overhyped. I hate when books do that. I really hate when books overhype things, and I'm just like, I didn't enjoy this as much as the blurb. Like, I could have just read the blurb over and over again and enjoyed it more. My favourite character was B, simply because she had a massive character development and she went from depending on the premium boy that you heard in the blurb, almost said Bible again, and then by the end of it she was kicking ass by herself and she was like, boy. So I really liked the fact that it did that. I only gave it a 2 stars on Goodreads because I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought it was going to. Maybe I overhyped it myself, maybe it was the blurb's fault, maybe it was people on Tumblr, I don't really know. The one thing I would change about this book if I had written it myself is it did not need 3 points of views. It got me very confused because it switched between Alina, the premium boy, and B, who's my favourite character. I felt like it only really needed B's point of view. That's my personal opinion. It did not need 3. It confused me a bit too much. I would recommend it if you like dystopian kind of novels, science fiction kind of things. Not really my thing. I love watching science fiction movies, but I really can't read science fiction books. I can't picture it in my head. That's just me. The second book I read in August. The second book that I read in October is Cinder by Marissa Meyer, or Maya, whatever you want to say. I say Meyer, sometimes Maya, I'm not really sure. This was by far my favourite in the whole October kind of book haul thing. Let me read you the blurb. Cinder, a gifted mechanic in New Beijing, is also a cyborg. Cyborg. She's reviled by her stepmother and blamed for her stepsister's sudden illness. But when her life becomes intertwined with the handsome Prince Kai, she finds herself at the centre of a violent struggle between the desires of an evil queen and a dangerous temptation. Cinder is caught between duty and freedom, loyalty and betrayal. Now she must uncover secrets about her mysterious past in order to protect Earth's future. This is not the fairy tale you remember, but it's one you won't forget. It's a retelling of, like, Cinderella. I thought it was going to be shit. I thought I was going to hate it because I'm like, I like the Disney versions and I like Grimm, but I'm not sure I'm going to like this one. This is absolutely fantastic. I don't normally like reading books in a series, but this one I'm going to carry on with. You'll see more of this chronicle in my what I read in videos because I will continue reading this. My favourite character was Aiko, which is her is her droid, her little robot companion. I liked Piano too, but Aiko was my favourite. I cried in the first 3 chapters of this, I think it is. I cried within the first 3 chapters and I cried again at the end. Cried again in the middle. I just cried all the way through. It's not even supposed to be an emotional book, I don't think, but I did cry. Sorry about that. I cried. I gave it a 4 stars on Goodreads. The third book that I read this month was Marked, a PC and Kristen cast.
I don't normally like reading series, books in a series.
I literally just said I don't like reading series. I don't like reading them. But I read 2 starting novels, 2 series, and the different ones, but I read 2. This was great. I'll read you the blurb. So the bad news was that I'd have to move into the House of Night, a private boarding school known to all of my friends as the Vampire Finishing School, where I would spend the next 4 years going through bizarre and unnameable physical changes, as well as a total and permanent life shake-up. And that's only if the whole process didn't kill me. But the good news was that I wouldn't have to take the geometry test tomorrow. When 16-year-old Zoe is marked by the tracker, she knows her old life is over. Now she has to leave her friends and family to join the House of Night School, where there's only one subject Zoe needs to study, Vampire 101. Of course, there's always a catch, and this one's nice and simple. If you fail, you die. I'm gonna admit that the The start was very fast, and as a media student, it irritated me a little bit because I was like, where is the equilibrium? You are breaking the toddler off narrative structure. How dare you, PC and Kristen cast? But I really understood at the end, and I really enjoyed it at the end because she was straight to the point. She was like, look, this is happening to this girl, and we're going to get on with it. Not farty with the, this is what my life was beforehand. This is what my life was afterhand. I gave it a 3 stars on Goodreads. It wasn't my favourite this month, but it was up there with, you know, I enjoyed it enough to carry on with the series. Oh, I just hit myself in the face. Do you mind? I'm giving you a good praise, and what you do, you hit me in the face. My favourite characters in this book were Damien and Shawnee Erin. If you watched my Q&A with Waverly Reads, it'll be in the top bar of the description if you want to go check it out. If you watched that video, there's a question from Eloise that said, if you had any character that resembled the other person, who would it be? I picked one for her, and she picked Shawnee and Erin from this book. And at the time, I'd never read it before, and it was on my to-do list to read, and I read it this month. They are my favourite character, and I can see why she picked them for me, to be honest. PC and Kristen did a really good job of describing things in this book. I felt like I was there, I was immersed. They described the 6 senses very well, like touch, taste, feel, hear, whatever, you know, whatever, yeah, the senses, you get them. I feel like I was there, and I felt like I could taste everything they were tasting, I could hear everything they were hearing. It was just really, really good. If I was to write this book differently, I would cut out all the fucking vampire BDSM, because there's no need for it. It's no addition to the plot. All it tells about the vampires is that they're horny fuckers. The last book that I read in October was Anna Just in Blood by Ken Dare Blake. Don't know how to pronounce your name, and sorry if I butchered it. My sister recommended this book too for me. I was like, I need more spooky books to read for October, and she was like, read this one, it's quite kind of creepy. Yes, it was. Very creepy. Kendra described the scenery well. It was really good description of the scenery and really good description of Anna's dress. I feel like when Anna enters the book, it is one of the best descriptions I've ever read of a character, and I really aspire to write like this. And after I put down this book, every single time I wanted to get out my computer and I wanted to write and write and write. I actually wrote yesterday for like an hour and a half straight because of this book. I'd literally just finished reading this and I was like, I need to write now, because she inspired me to write. Henceforth, I gave it a 4 stars on Goodreads, and I will read you the blurb. I almost said Bible again. Cass Leawood is no ordinary guy. He hunts dead people. Like Anna Just in Blood. A beautiful murderous ghost entangled in curses and rage. Cass knows he must destroy her, but as her tragic past is revealed, he starts to understand why Anna has killed everyone who's ever dared to enter her spooky home. Everyone, that is, except Cass. Just your average boy meets girl kills people story. It's humorous, it's sexy, it's romantic, it's everything I really want in a book. My favourite character was Thomas. Oh, Thomas. If I was to marry someone from a fictional world, it would be Thomas, because he's an absolute sweetheart, although I do kind of ship him with Carmel. There is a character in this book, I just mentioned her, but she was called Carmel, and every time there was a tension scene, I would read her name accidentally as Caramel. All the time. If I was to write this book again, myself, I would make Thomas and Carmen canon. The only thing I was going to say actually is the fact that Cass and Anna have, like, I don't know, I found it weird that they were, you know, she was special to him, and I was like, whoa, dude, stop. Please read it and have a discussion with me of how weird it is if you find it weird, because I feel like I can only discuss that with people who've read it because it's kind of a spoiler, but it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. So these are the books. Okay, 1-0 round. These are the books that I read this month. There you go. I can just smell book. I really enjoyed Cinder. From all the way up from Cinder, I think I enjoyed the most. Breathe was a little bit disappointing because I think I overhyped a little bit. I look forward to reading your comments on these videos to see what you're reading, and if you liked any of these books that I've read and what the other books are like in the series that I've read. There's 2 starting novels that I read.
I don't normally like reading series, books in a series.
I look forward to sharing my November books with you, and I hope to see you next time. 1, 4, 3, bye. Mwah.
What's the worst that could happen? You'll never know unless you try. Don't be put off by your self-doubting thoughts. If you don't take a leap, then you might never fly.